Hello, everybody. This is Betsy Wurzel, host of Chatting with Betsy on Passionate World Talk Radio. We are now at the end of September, and I can't believe it. It was World Alzheimer's Awareness Month. It was Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And it was also this month marked my 1-year anniversary as host of Chatting with Betsy on Passionate World Talk Radio. This is going to be a different type of show, folks, because I'm going to be doing my own chat on how Chatting with Betsy came to be. So please pull up a chair, get yourself a drink, and you can hear how I became a host on Passionate World Talk Radio. I want to thank, and I cannot thank enough, Jeanne White for discovering me, I guess you could say. She did discover me, and being station manager, and for her friendship and being a mentor to me. And Jeanne White saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And I had to thank Lillian Caldwell, CEO of Passionate World Talk Radio, for having the insight to have this internet radio station, for starting it, for being a mentor to the people that are hosts, for being a warm, just a very down-to-earth person. I told Lillian I can come to her more easily and more comfortable than I've had bosses at my previous jobs, and also where I presently work, but right now I'm temporarily unemployed due to COVID. Excuse me. So I would like to say that Chatting with Betsy is not about me, Betsy Wurzel. Chatting with Betsy brings, I feel, valuable information from all the different guests. And I want to thank everyone who's been a guest on my show. You know who you are. I couldn't possibly name all of you because they only have a limited amount of time, and my voice might give out. I have to excuse my voice. It's these fall allergies. My show is about helping you, the listener, whether you're a caregiver, you were a caregiver, and most likely you will be a caregiver. And even if you're not, this is information that you could use to maybe help somebody else and also yourself. I cover taboo subjects. I'm not afraid to talk about the taboo. And so I have a variety of guests. I had to thank Lillian Caldwell again for getting me out of my comfort zone this year. Lillian, excuse me, sends me press releases, and I have learned to do emails. I'm sorry, excuse me. I've learned to do emails this year. I have called people up that are complete strangers to talk to them about coming on my show. That is really getting out of my comfort zone, because I do not like calling people up, especially strangers. But when I do call people up about my show, it just lights a fire in me. This is my passion, and I would have never have guessed this in my youth or even just 5 years ago. I'm going to give you some history and background of how Chatting with Betsy came to be. I told Matt was my husband, who died January 1st this year from a 10-year battle with early onset Alzheimer's. Chatting with Betsy is from me being an advocate because of my husband, Matt. And I will always talk about my husband, Matt. It was because of him I went in my car to raise awareness on early onset Alzheimer's and showing his picture. Then I went on to do caregiving tips and to say how I felt as a caregiver. And I've always been ahead of my time. not to toot my own horn, but toot, I have talked about caregiver stress. I've talked about post-traumatic stress. I have talked about caregiver isolation long before the pandemic. And I told Matt, before I met Jeanne, long before I met Jeanne, I said, Matt, somehow, some way, I'm going to tell the world about you. I'm going to tell the world your story. And, of course, Matt would tell me, don't talk about me. He never wanted me to talk about him. But then when I did, he was proud of me. I actually did interviews with Matt talking in my ear. And Jeanne White saw one of my videos. I used to do videos in my car so I wouldn't be disturbed with my family. And one night Jeanne saw one of my videos and she contacted me. And I was jumping up and down. I told Matt, some lady from a radio station contacted me and I'm going to tell your story. And I did. That was in June 2018. And Jeanne White was starting a series, a caregiver series. She had her Connect show. And Jeanne White asked me if I would speak. And I was honored and thrilled. When I did the interview, I was so happy. I figured, okay, I could die a happy woman now. I said that story. Never did I think, excuse me, I'd be speaking weekly. And I told Jeanne, yes, I could do that, but I'm not a professional speaker. And Jeanne said, that's okay. You speak from your heart. And it was really hard to get caregivers to come on Jeanne's show, but they eventually did. My caregiving friends came on Jeanne White's show. And it was out of my comfort zone to talk weekly. And I was even shocked at myself. I am, and people don't believe this, but it's true, I am a very quiet, shy person. But when it comes to raising awareness and helping caregivers, I'm not shy, and I will speak up. And I hope that my show, Chatting with Betsy, helps people to be inspired and helps the listener to become an advocate for themselves and their loved ones. And I hope that it does really help people, because this is my goal. This is my vision, and my mission is to help other people. So in June 2019, Jeanne, or was it July, or it could be August, I don't remember now, Jeanne asked me about being a guest host. I was like, I can't do that. Jeanne said, yes, you can. And so I did a guest host, I think, I don't know, I don't remember how many times exactly. And then Jeanne said, I think you're ready to be a host of your own show. Excuse me. And I was like, I don't know how to interview. I can't do that. And Jeanne said, oh, you could do it. You'll be fine. You'll learn. So a million thanks to Jeanne White, who saw, again, something in me I didn't see in myself. I am so honored and blessed to be a part of this radio station, to be part of Pastoral Talk Radio. I had to pinch myself because it's like surreal sometimes. And even as Matt was entering his late stage, I still did the show. It gave me something to focus on. It gave me something to look forward to. It gave me hope in a time that it was dark in my life. And I really can't thank Jeanne White and Lillian Caldwell enough to give me and other people an opportunity to be heard that otherwise would not be heard. I have tried getting on my local news station. I have tried local radio station in this New York area. I live in New Jersey, and they won't give me the time of day. And I am so privileged to be able to bring you a show every week that I feel would help the listeners. And I saw this radio station, Passion World Talk Radio, grow in the past 2.5 years, almost 2.5 years that I've been with Passion World Talk Radio. I'm so grateful to be on here. We are now on Amazon Music, and we are on CastBox and Apple and Google, Spreaker, Spotify, wherever podcasts are heard. I am just thrilled of how I met so many wonderful people that I interviewed, and I learned from them, so then therefore I can help other people. I wish I met some people when Matt was alive, and I would have asked them to help me. And if there's something that I can tell you folks, if you're a caregiver, ask for help, hire someone. I would highly suggest that you hire someone to help you navigate caregiving and especially hospice, because you won't have the time to interview different hospices, especially if you're working like I was. And that is my only regret. But, you know, you don't know what you don't know. So even though I run a support group and I'm in other support groups, I didn't realize there was actually people you could hire to help you. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to meet people and to interview people and just broaden my horizons. I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I would be publicly speaking. It is really shocking for people who are in my family and people who knew me when I was younger. I was very shy when I was younger. I was very insecure. And I am totally self-conscious of how I look, how I sound. Actually, my voice is a little hoarse right now. But I had to put all that away to bring awareness. And that's what is important to me, that I want to raise awareness on early onset, Alzheimer's, and other dementias. I do have a support group, #Kick Alzheimer's Mass Movement, that all are welcome to. You don't have to be a caregiver. You can just come and educate yourself and learn. And because, you know what, folks, if you weren't a caregiver already, you might need one or be one. That's a reality as the baby boom generation, and I am one of them, are aging. And I will also talk about the taboo subjects on Chatting with Betsy. I'm not afraid to talk about the taboo. I interviewed someone who was a survivor of child sexual abuse. I'm going to interview someone whose daughter had committed suicide. These are things that we need to bring out in the open, folks. Mental health issues. That is a big topic. And I want to just put out an invitation that whoever's listening, if you have a subject, a topic, or you want to come on my show, PM me, Betsy, Betsy, Wurzel, Wurzel. And you can let me know. My email is Sloan, Sloan, Betsy, Betsy, 31 @gmail.com if you want to send me an email. I also do a show with Lillian once a month. It was on grieving, but now I'm going to mix it up about doing caregiving tips. And that will be seen on YouTube. I do it live in my own group, Kick Alzheimer's Ass Movement. And I want to thank Lillian for that opportunity. I have to admit, it was a little nerve-wracking the first time because I thought, oh, I'm going to be doing a show with my CEO. I better be on top of my game. Excuse me. But Lillian is just so down to earth. And I really admire Lillian Caldwell and Jeanne White. They're two very strong women who I deeply admire and I love. Just great role models. And Jeanne White, not only station manager, she is a true friend. And when Matt was dying, I live in New Jersey, Jeanne lived in Massachusetts, she called me. She helped me. She encouraged me. And that was very touching to me. And I get a little emotional. It's really nice to have two wonderful mentors. And it's nice to have someone see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And for them to take you under their wing and help you to fly. That is a real, true mentor. And also, folks, I have to say, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think people would say to me that it's an honor to talk to me. I'm going to get emotional. I can't help it. Or to be on my show. Folks, when I was younger, I couldn't even get people to talk to me. Okay? I was a loner. So for someone to say it's an honor for them to talk to me, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, thank you. That just blows my mind. Recently, I was on a show, Hope in the Desert, which when it comes out, I'm going to post it on my own Facebook page. And Sal Hunt, who is a podcaster for that show, touched my heart, and I'm going to interview him in November, said to me that he heard me interview Dr. George Ackerman, and he was inspired. And he does his interviewing style by my example. That was an honor, a true mind-boggling honor to hear that. And I said, oh, thank you. I've only been doing this for, a little over a year. So I can't thank you, the listeners, enough. Thank you for listening to my show. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for subscribing to it. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to Chatting with Betsy. It's so easy to subscribe. And right now it's for free on the podcast stations. You just can go on and you could download the app. Amazon Music, iHeart, iTunes. I'm on, you can hear the shows on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm still trying to figure out LinkedIn, but I'm on there. And Castbox, Podchaser. We're even heard in India on Savani, probably not pronouncing the name of it right, .com, but you can look up where the shows are heard. And it's just an honor and a privilege. So happy anniversary to Chatting with Betsy for 1 year on Passionate World Talk Radio. And I had to thank you, the listeners. And if I can help you in any way, please let me know. And I just enjoy what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. Doing this show feeds my soul, and it's just a passion. And I say to people, I think my alter ego comes on when I'm on a microphone because I'm not this bold in person. As a matter of fact, to tell you how shy I am, give you an example. In social situations, I went to a seminar at my senior center in February, and I didn't want to approach a table to introduce myself, so the social worker brought me over to a table. And I introduced myself, and I made a friend. But it's very hard for me to approach strangers in person. But on the radio, I don't have a problem. Doing a video in my car, I didn't have a problem with that. And people will say to me, "Oh, Betsy, you're brave, you're courageous. It's easy for you." Let me tell you, folks, being brave and courageous had nothing to do with it at all. I was mad. I was a mad, angry, frustrated caregiver because the medical community was not listening to me or to my husband. And that was very frustrating. And even at the end, or near the end of Matt's life, we still weren't listened to. I can tell you, folks, educate yourselves because the medical community, they need to be educated big time. And I want to give the advice that if you feel you're not being listened to and you feel there's an injustice being done, you must speak up. Change will not happen unless you speak up. You don't have to be an advocate like me. Just as long as you advocate for yourself and your loved one with your medical team, that's important. And folks, you can advocate on your own Facebook page or your own media outlets. We need to show our journeys, our loved ones' journey, and not be ashamed of our loved ones. And even after your journey ends with your loved one, you can still show pictures. You can still talk about your loved one. I do. And I'm going to always talk about Matt because I get emotional again. He is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's because of my husband, my late husband, Matthew Sloan. He is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I believe God used Jeanne White as the vessel to bring out what I'm supposed to be doing. And I believe Matt's journey, I realized through Matt's journey, my gifts and my power, I had it all along, but I didn't know it. And I found it out, and I want to use it. And it's very important, folks, for you to find your passion. Even if you're a caregiver, find something for yourself. Find what feeds your soul and do it. And I have met many wonderful people. Through Jeanne, I met wonderful people doing the show. And I really hope that chatting with Betsy helps people because that's the purpose of it. It's not about me. It's not at all about me, although I do talk about my journey, but I talk about my journey not to in no way bragging about myself, but to help you learn from my experience, for you to know my mistakes so you don't make the same mistakes that I made. And let me tell you, folks, there is no such thing as a perfect caregiver. No one is perfect. And if you think you are a perfect caregiver, please contact me because I want you on my show. And there is so much to really talk about with caregiving and, raising awareness that I have discussed many, many times. And I just want to thank Passion World Talk Radio. Again, a million thank yous to Lillian Caldwell and Jeanne White. And, listen to the other hosts on Passion World Talk Radio. They are phenomenal shows with phenomenal guests. And I'm so proud to be part of Passion World Talk Radio. Excuse me. So that's my chat for today, folks. I did a chat by myself to celebrate my 1-year anniversary, and I haven't done a chat by myself in a very long time. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of the audience of Passion World Talk Radio. And until we chat again, be safe, be kind, shine your light bright. Even if people don't like it, shine it even brighter. And until we talk again, this is Betsy Wurzel, host of Chatting with Betsy and Passion World Talk Radio. Bye-bye now.